If you think about it, there are some things in this world that aren't meant to be scary. But most often, they are. Take Candle Cove, for instance. The guy who created the show seemed like he was trying to make an innocent enough children's show. Creepy but innocent. I have a bit of history with that damn show. Here it is. June 24th, 2010. I'm trying to find out more about this Candle Cove, and I know it exists because I watched like the first 3 episodes. But I got bored after the 5th one. I heard that it was getting a new season, and I remember the show. I remember it as the pirate show, and my parents thought it was weird that I would stay up until 5 in the morning, waiting nothing but static to come on. I didn't know if they were messing with me or not, because Candle Cove is definitely not static. It's something more than that. Something terrible. June 25th, 2010. After writing my first entry, I decided to dig up some news about Candle Cove, possibly to find episodes. I was on the internet about midnight when I received a text message from someone with a name which is basically all jumbled up numbers. The message said, when I decoded it from binary text, said, meet me, meet me. What did he mean, meet me? I was supposed to meet whoever it was somewhere? I don't know. June 26, 2010. I found an episode of Candle Cove. It was from season 1, and it was at least the 5th episode. It's funny because I don't remember seeing anything like this. The episode I saw depicted being Janice's birthday, and the pirates and Skin Taker and the rest of the characters sang happy birthday, and then Skin Taker broke off into a weird song which I assumed was called 1 Year Cho Closer. When he finished this song, all the puppets kind of stared at the camera with their eyes glassy. Then out of nowhere, skeletons came out. Yes, you 4chan fans, you can literally see skeletons pop out. The scary thing about that was that the skeletons kept grabbing near Janice's chest area and touching her butt. June 27, 2010. I contacted someone I met over the internet, who apparently watched Candle Cove when it was on TV. He told me to come to his house and interview him. At first I was wary, but then I realized this was Candle Cove we were going to talk about. When I got there, I noticed his house was immaculate, but that it was mostly because he had nothing but a TV and a bed in his house. It looked like he didn't have any food in his house either. When I was asking him questions, he kept staring off into space, and it took me seconds, sometimes even minutes, to get him to come back to Earth and keep talking to me. When I brought up the Skin Taker, he just screamed and fell over unconscious. I tapped him, but it seemed as if he would not wake up for hours. After that, this may sound creepy, but I'm doing anything to find anything about Candle Cove. I went upstairs and searched his room for anything that has absolutely anything to do with that damn show. I found concept art, but it was singed. I could barely even tell what it was. There was also a note I will read that is from the guy who lived across the street from me when I was younger, who I will describe later in the next entry, but for now I need some rest. June 30th, 2010. Wow, I slept for nearly 4 days. I don't even remember doing that. Ever. I remember some dreams that I had during the 4-day sleep period thing. Skin Taker was chasing me down a long dark hallway, and the other villains from the show that came around the corners. First there was horrible, then Milo, and then something terrible I thought I'd never see again. He was tall and dressed like a normal human man, but he was also decaying terrible, and I could literally smell his terrible burning flesh as he stumbled around the corner. The man was some strange old guy who lived on my street when I was about 10, who would sometimes go into my lawn when my parents weren't home and stare through my window. I remember his house burning down about 2 years later when I was home alone. Apparently it was death. He decided to take his own life. I don't want to know what made him burn his house down, but I feel I must. I'm going to his house tomorrow to look for clues. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Here's that note I found at the man's house. Dear Lucille, I don't know how much longer I can take this. These nightmares are becoming more frequent, more disturbing. Most of them are him, but all I have of him is the same picture of that kid who lives across the street with me, with his eyes gouged out. If only there was a way I could warn him about that damn Candle Cove show before it was too late. Sincerely, Bill. June 31st, 2010. What I saw in that house will most likely make me not be able to sleep for days, maybe even years. The house was nothing but a patch of dirt. Now, but nothing better. I dug into the dirt and soon I hit something. The material scrapped against my fingernails as the packed dirt took the top off. It was just a note. It reads, Percy was a pirate. He was the greatest around. Percy was a pirate. He never wore a frown. Until one day Mr. Skintaker came to town and took all the other children down to his workshop, where he would chop and sew his skin to new cape, always looking for new children to violate. This was getting disturbing. I'm getting involved in this every time I get home from school. I swear I can hear screams of those poor children, their skin ripping and their flesh being taken off their bones and stuck onto the skeleton man's cape. I am ending this for now, and I thank everyone who helped me for this help. I didn't know what I would do after this. Maybe I'll even destroy the notebook. But one thing's for sure, I'll never search for that damn show at all. Ever. Again. And that, my pretties, was Candle Cove, the Journal of Damien Green. A Candle Cove creepypasta. My final thoughts on this story. Well, I can definitely certainly say that this one is definitely a pretty good story of the Candle Cove series. Now, I do have to say this is a really great creepypasta. I mean, it is messed up and dark because this guy is basically going through, a journal, doing journal entries pretty much to, sit there and, document everything that is going on when he's trying to find out about Candle Cove, more the history and etc. I personally have to say it's actually believable. That's what I really do like about this story is that it's using a believability. That actually really helps out a whole lot and it definitely helps the story out. However, I will say that it's very well detailed. Despite it being a short story, it's very well detailed. I can definitely tell that the person put his or her time and effort into making that story, and it obviously really helps out. I mean, yeah, I will say that it's good. I personally really enjoyed it. So there's definitely a really good story involving that. Now, I do have to say that this story is definitely one of the good Candle Cove stories. I know there's a few Candle Cove stories out there. There is one called The Tales of the Laughing Stock, which I'll probably do that in the near future. So whenever that will be, I can't guarantee when I'll get to that because I do have other stories that I really want to get to. Well, I personally do have to say that this is a really enjoyable creepypasta. I definitely do have to say the concept is pretty good. I personally enjoyed it. The grammar was good, the sentence structuring, storyline, everything about this story was just flat out amazing. And I really do appreciate, the good grammar that the that the author used in this. So that's a pretty good bonus because, you know, I've seen a couple other stories, and most of them are not really that great, but this one is definitely a good exception. Now, I do have to really say that, what this guy does to the children and rip his skin off and, use for his cape, that's kind of messed up. Like, it's generally messed up when you come to think of it. But I mean, I've seen, scarier stuff as well, so it doesn't really faze me one bit. Now, I personally do have to say that I wish it was a little longer and maybe Damian Green gets his, answers to everything. I really wish that was the case, but that wasn't the case for this story. But like I said, it's just only my opinion on it, but I personally didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was a pretty good story and definitely well done. I definitely do appreciate it with the whole lot. I do really appreciate this story a lot. I think it's, a really great concept. I personally really enjoyed how well made this story really is, and it's just a really great concept for a story. I mean, it's really well done. we're coming to look at it, you could definitely say it's really well done. Well, I definitely do have to say, yeah, this story is pretty good. So to the author of the story, if you happen to come across this video, I would like you to let me know who you are so I can definitely let the author know about it. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to really say. But anyways, this is a really good concept, but however, it's a really great film. However, it's just unfortunate that it happened, but it's just I don't know what to even think. This is definitely a really good concept. I personally really have to say that it's really, really good. So, I guess with that being the case and with that being said, and I'm definitely going to say this is definitely a pretty interesting story. I will leave a link in description down below, so if you guys want to go check out this story, you're more than welcome to. So, yeah. Anyways, with that being the case and with that being said, I'm going to say right now this is just simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with it, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas. This is just simply my own personal thoughts. I give this story I'm gonna give this one a 10 out of 10. It's a really great concept. I personally really enjoyed it a whole lot. I thought it was really neat and well done. It definitely really helps out with the story, and it's very believable. I will. Oh, bless me. Apologies about that. I just had a sneeze. But it's a really great concept for a story. I personally enjoyed it. It's believable. It's really well done. I personally have to say it's definitely one of the good stories of Candle Cove. Now, like I'm always gonna say, yeah, it's a pretty good story. I mean, I'll leave a link in description so you guys can go check out this story if you haven't. It's a pretty good one. So, anyways, with that being the case, and with that being said, what did you guys personally think of this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm Shadow the Lion Queen. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you're new to this channel, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. As always, if you guys want to go follow me follow me on Blue Sky. Apologies for that. I just lost train of thought. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on DeviantArt follow you on me on my backup channel known as Miss Dark Shigo. As links to all those will be in the about page section, so you guys can go follow me on those. And as always, yeah, if there's something I'm missing, please let me know what it is in the comments below. And as always, roll the outro because I'm out. What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please, stay pretty.